everyone. On today's episode 9, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share as we're waiting for everyone to come in and join in this evening in the East Coast. Whoop, whoop. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for those who are unaware. Go ahead and hit that like button and share. Share it with a family member, subscribe, whatever you have to do. Go ahead and do it now. Welcome, 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 everyone who is on the Cynthia J podcast show. I am your host, Cynthia J, your herbalist, your psalmist, your birth and postpartum doula, your inspirational healer, your Reiki healer, and much more. Chime in today. We're going to be going over some updates. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share it with someone because we're going to be going over a few updates today. What's been going around the world, especially right here in the U.S., all up and down, north, south, east, and west, because it has been some busy stuff going on in the past few weeks. And happy birthday to all those who are in the month of February. You know, your sister celebrated hers this middle of the month. Myself, yes, I'm an Aquarius. I enjoy every bit of it. So I did celebrate my birthday and still is celebrating it. And again, I celebrate those who have a birthday on a leap year. You I know it feels kind of odd to have a birthday on a leap year. Who wants to have a birthday on a leap year? And then when the next year come around, it's like, okay, what day do you celebrate your birthday? That's kind of strange. I don't know how you guys would be able to do that, but I applaud and salute you. Like, seriously, if you got a birthday that's on February 29th, and then your next year you're going in the 28th, and it's like, what in the world? But anyway, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Share some love to your sister. Send me some hearts, many other things. And again, I love you. Thank you guys for always being supportive and being here. But I'm not going to run my mouth too long tonight. I just wanted to just let you know I'm thinking about you guys. I'm always glad to see you guys up here. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you can hear me. Shoot me some love so I can make sure you guys can hear me clearly. But with that being said, again, today's is just about updates and current events that are going on. Not too much on like deep topics, but these are topics that we definitely going to want to agree on. For those who already know, I know some of you guys might have watched the Wendy Williams, documentary. I know for me, I couldn't get in it too further along. It hit me really hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to really spiritually readjust because as I was listening, it was very saddened and it was breaking my heart. So I'm gonna finish, going and looking at it. I had to take a pause and a break in between time. But let's continue to just, send out some love, ancestral prayers to Wendy Williams, because a lot of people don't understand when you're out here in the world and you're upcoming. If you guys know about her history, I grew up listening to her on the radio when I was in college. She was a shooter with the gossip of the things that were going on. And again, I gotta show her some love because she went from having nothing to building something. But I'm not saying that everything she did was right. Yet again, still shoot out some prayers to her, guys, because she's been dragged. Like, seriously, she's been dragged. And when you are a person who comes from nothing into something, and whoever have your estate, whoever you leave beneficiary over you, you got to make sure they really have your back. You also have to make sure that nobody is just taking advantage of your financial fundings and stuff like that. And for what we see through news articles, certain social medias, etc., it's a life lesson to learn. If you have family members who have some type of royalties or whatever the will may state, just please make sure you guys put it with someone you trust. Make sure, though, the state doesn't have hold on it. Make sure the banks don't try to run hold on it, because as you guys remember, it was the banks that was turning around Wells Fargo, as it was stating, trying to hold her assets and stuff. So with that being said, let's just keep her lifted up in prayer for Wendy Williams. Like, seriously, because That's a little sad thing there. On other breaking news, for those who are unaware of, this is something new. There was a mother in North Texas. This mother has her son, her 2-year-old son, has been out of her custody since December of last year. And for those who are North Texas, you may know, you may not know, because again, you can live in your area and really don't know what's going on. Even in where I'm at, sometimes I don't hear anything or come across it until a little later. But this mother had her child taken wrongfully by CPS. This mother had did everything by protocol. Her name is Miss Jocelyn Sanders. She had taken her son to her pediatrician at first, for what the article stated, and also watching the news on Fox on her story. And as she took her son to the pediatrician directed her to go to the hospital, to Children's Plano Hospital. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. As she sent her son there to go do blood work for some kind of apparent reason, a doctor of a pediatrician on that side must have had a hold on her documentation pertaining on the blood work for her son, and was called in and was recommended a particular medication before she even sit back to agree to this medication, which this mother was very well educated in the medicine with medical, in which she went to school for. And so, with that being said, she declined the type of medication for her 2-year-old, which was clindamycin. That is, clindamycin is one of the antibiotics that majority of some people will be the next level if you can't take penicillin or amoxicillin. A lot of people don't know this, but when you take in certain antibiotics like penicillin and amoxicillin back in the day, they would give you penicillin first. And then if you had an allergic reaction to that, which is these are a penicillin family part, they don't turn around and give you amoxicillin. Sometimes people or children can actually take amoxicillin, but again, as you get older, it will change. And then the next level is clindamycin. But again, for a 2-year-old, clindamycin, still surprised. And the mother disagreed on it. So when she refused, this particular pediatrician didn't like what she was stating to her. And as she kindly declined, as the article stated, you guys can look that up. Definitely go Google it up. It's pertaining to the mother in North Texas on her 2-year-old. Well, anyway, she ended up declining. Then the doctor started talking about that her child was malnutrition, which was falsely being accused of, which was not true. And these are facts, guys. Again, make sure you go up on Google and type in North Texas mother with 2-year-old child taken by CPS. And so anyway, as that the mother said, okay, I no longer needed your service. She took her child to she took her child back to the pediatrician. So the pediatrician what happened, said what she stated to the pediatrician. The pediatrician gave her an alternate medication to help this particular rash that her child had. Next thing you know, a few hours later, as she's at home feeding her child, CPS is at her door. It also stated in the article that she asked those with the CPS worker who was there with Texas police in Dallas and asked them, did they have a court order? They did not have a court order. But get this, this is what moves me. They didn't have a court order, and the mother said that the person who was part of the CPS seemed like to be a trainee. So then when she stated, "Do you have a court order?" This individual moves to the side, makes a phone call, and states, "Since you no longer decide to," because they did when they came there to check on the well-being and to try to take custody of her child, they stated that she needed to go back to the hospital to give the child what they needed. She stated she did not decline though to go back to a hospital. She said, "I have no problem of going to this particular hospital. However, I will not go back to the children's Polino Hospital. That she will go to another hospital. I mean, that she would go to Polino Hospital and not back to Children's Dallas Hospital. I'm sorry, guys. It was Children's Dallas Hospital, the other way around." And so, with that being said, next thing you know, they tell her that they have to take her child. The police and chief that was there, they said they saw no malnutrition going on with the child. The child was eating and drinking when they arrived there. They debated, but the mother, I guess, tried to prove her innocent. But again, they never had any documentation or a court order stating to remove the child. I'm guessing the mom was being nice and she has not had her child back since, which I believe she should not have done. If you turn around as a parent, and some may disagree with me on this, but if you know your rights when it comes to you as being a parent, when it comes to your children, make sure you study your state and federal when it comes to the children, because there are times that they'll try to manipulate, deceive, redirect you to see if you can fall for a trap. Right here, there was no type of warrant given or a court order given or whatsoever. She didn't have to give her to her child. And the police said in the article stated they weren't going to force it because there was no sign of malnutrition. There was no sign of issue. Documentation was shown. Again, I don't know why the mother turned around and gave up the child. But like I said, the chief of police had already stated this in the article. So again, guys, make sure you know your rights. I've seen a video before, a live video of a father one time when police officers and CPS arrived. This father was on point with what he said, how he knew the law and the article of the law and the code, and he made sure that he said what he said. CPS, a guy was getting agitated. He would try to reword it in a different format. The police officers was like, look, there's nothing we can do. They were just standing. It was like, there's nothing we can do. So can we leave now? So with that being said, it's very important that you know your CPS state laws and know the CPS when it comes to federal. Do not remember when you going to take your children to these hospitals, and I don't know, this is my advice and my suggestion, but for those who are mothers like me, I definitely still recommend that you don't get too comfortable with certain doctors out here, because remember, the people behind these uniforms are agents and they are not here for your well-being nor their child. Remember, you are still cattle, your child is still cattle. They are owned by the states. When you sign that birth certificate, you have sold, silently sold over your child physically. And a lot of people are unaware of this. So that's why it's very important that you know what you're dealing with when you're out here dealing with CPS, because it's not a game. So please make sure, guys, that y'all continue to try your best to educate about the laws as much as you can so that you can be aware of the scams and the hidden agendas that are going on out here, because they are getting very cunning. They're becoming very, very cunning. And I mean cunning to the point where you just gotta watch them, guys. Like seriously. And it's sad. Also, another news report on February 24th. One amazing elder I truly respect. He was part of the board in his community. He fought against so much segregation, illegal things. He was a go-getter. He made sure he nipped it at the butt. Eric Mays passed away on February 24th. For those who are unaware of him, please go ahead and type his name in Google. Eric Mays. I know you guys have seen his videos on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever it may be. You've seen him up there. As he was up there, you will see him on a panel board with the mayor. You will see him up there with the trustee board in his state. He was a go-getter sharpshooter, and it breaks my heart that he's gone. And I have also been seeing only a little TikToks on remembering him, but keep his family in prayer. Not only just keep his family in prayer, keep him lifted up where he is ascended at. You know, our ancestors are always calling on to our loved ones, the good ones out here who once was sinners and now, they out here trying to make a difference. They're leaving this plane so fast. And again, he was a sharpshooter. I seen this man make some changes physically by the eye on a lot of things that I've seen online, and it amazed me. And I'm really honored and pleased to see the things that he has done and that he has accomplished as an elder. It's very hard to find elders now these days who are about their business. Some of them, they sell their soul and then they go out here and they say, oh, I'm not going to do this for the younger generation. Oh, they all right. I got to do what's for me. You lived your life. So make sure that you allow yourself to be the type of elder will sacrifice your life for this young youth, especially if they're young youth with their heads screwed on their neck a right way and not the wrong way. Because again, our children are our next generation, and it's up to us, up to the real ones out here, the voices of reason, the ones who are the go get a sharpshooter that don't take, no for an answer, that don't go out here and just, take mess. Hey, love on Instagram, Missy, how are you? And so, with that being said, just make sure you go out here and you share that information, because Eric Mays was a really good example of an elder who didn't take mess. He made sure he spoke on the community. He called people out. That's what I loved about him. He will call people out. He didn't care who you were. He will call you out. And I love that about him. As I was watching his videos, and I would actually go on a few of the boards online once I heard about him. And I was just like, wow, he's an amazing man. This man has really tried his best to really do it for the people. And so, with that being said, again, keep the family lifted in prayer, keep him lifted where he ascended to in prayer, and so much more. So, again, make sure you guys go up there and look him up on Google and, see the cause, of what happened to him. It's still hitting me, again, for those who don't know, look up Eric Mays, please. He passed away February 24th. He was part of the Flint City Council of Michigan, which, for those who don't know, Michigan is still fighting. Michigan is still going through. People thought that it ended and it's been covered. No, there are still brothers and sisters in Michigan are still going through in Detroit, Michigan. So if you guys know of some resources, definitely shoot it out to me, please. The other resources I used to send and help out a little bit, they're no longer available for some reason. But again, let's help our brothers and sisters out in Detroit, Michigan, who are still trying to hold it hard and stay strong. And for those who in Detroit, Michigan, who follow me, I applaud you. I love you. I'll try my best to make sure I'm circulating the information around. If you have some updated news that you would like for me to put out there and circulate around, please do so, because we need each other. Like, we can't let, you know, those who carry the authority of a uniform or title, but behind those titles, they are deceitful and have hidden agendas. We can't continue to let that ride. Like, seriously, we can't continue to let that ride. So let's make sure that we are holding it down. Let's make sure that we are making them be held accountable, because if not, these people are going to continue to get away with it, guys. Like, for real. They're going to continue to get away with it. And if you continue to let them get away with it, then we haven't learned anything out of it. So with that being said, keep Eric Mays, our elder. He was strong. I love this elder. One of the elders, former member of the Flint City Council. He passed away February 24th at the age of 65 and could still move. How many people in their 60s can still move and not have a worry? But, tragically he passed away naturally. So our next news, this right here has to circle around. This right here, what I'm about to say, you guys better be sharing this platform and sharing this video and go and finding some other videos on this. How many of you heard that Elon Musk Tesla company ordered from a black-owned bakery business before Valentine's Day to order Valentine's whatever cakes or whatever it was from the bakery? It started off with a total pricing of 4,000. Then they decreased the amount of what they were going to order to 2,000. And this is crazy. This is a black-owned business, a black-owned bakery, and the lady that made the order for Tesla, her name was Lori or Laura. Do you know that this black-owned business canceled every other business that wanted to order for Black History Month? It wasn't just Valentine's Day, it was for Black History Month too. They had so many people that wanted to buy from them. And this sister got a phone call from Elon Musk Tesla from one of his employees. For real, for real. Hey, brother, I see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining live. From one of his employees to order some bakery items that first started off over $4,000, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, 4,000 count, guys. I apologize. A 4,000 count to a 2,000 count. Let me repeat that. Whatever they ordered went from a 4,000 count to a 2,000 count when they called back. And it was making sure the Black owned bakery of this sister, she was making sure that she had everything up to date, guaranteed. I believe she should have made them have a deposit down, guys, because this right here I'm about to tell you. Do you know they canceled that order? And that sister put all her money and her supplies in that, and it was over $12,000. $12,000, guys. $12,000. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. There's no way from a top owned company, you have your employee who's making these orders, whatever their position is, and you turn around and forfeit at the last minute and turn around and she lose all her money. Think about that. She lost all her money because of all the money she put into the product of having to go get the items for what needed to be baked on a special order. And this is big now. Now, at first you're going to be like in your mind, okay, well, this is Tesla, Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? Tesla. Who would ever think that? And the sad thing about it is now the sister has to turn around and find a way to regain what she lost because she lost so many businesses she could and did her bakery with. But this is what she typed on her website and made public on social media platforms. This is what she stated. How hurt my small Black woman owned business. On February 14th, I received a promissory inquiry from Laura Etler for a sizable order of that's what it was. Mini pies, guys. Y'all hear that? Mini pies. Delivered the following Tuesday and Thursday. After providing a quote and receiving approval, I anticipated a smooth transaction. However, complications arose when the payment process was read through Tesla's vendor, City Flavor. Despite this hurdle, I remained optimistic as I waited for the payment on Thursday. Yet the payment failed to materialize. I grew concerned. Then on Thursday, February 15th at 9:05 p.m., I received a call from Lori. First apologizing for their vendor not paying on time, claiming that they were new, and then requesting to double the order size, asking for pies to be packed in boxes of 2, assorting me the cost. Now, this is sad that this sister had to do that. She's a Black-owned business in San Jose, California. In San Jose, California. And you know she was pissed. She lyrically said, out her mouth, a bakery in San Jose, California is pissed that Tesla employees at the automaker placed a mass pie order to celebrate Black history, only to cancel it after the Black-owned business worked to meet the huge request. She turned around and made all them pies, guys. She turned around and made all those pies. She turned around and made all those pies, guys. A sister, a small Black-owned business in California. She made all those pies. And it turned back around for them to turn around and cancel on it. Man, you got to be kidding me. I don't blame her. I'll be upset too. And it's sad because she said it went from being one order for to 2,000 mini pies to be delivered. Then to turn around and everything that she put over actually cost her between 12 to 16,000. You heard me say 12, but on here they saying from 12 to 16,000. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous and sad. So guys, y'all go ahead and look up this sister, like, for real. Support her if you can, because it's sad. It's sad. It's very sad that this had to happen to her, and she should not have this happen to her. It's very, very sad. Let me see if I get the name of the business up for you guys. That I did not get a chance to. I mean, that is just crazy. And so let's try to support her again. It's called the Giving Pies. Giving Pies. That is the name of her business, the Giving Pies. So if you can find her on social media platform, guys, send out some love. Every little bit will help, because small Black owned business. For those of my California brothers and sisters who be out there, go ahead and support her. Show her some love. Share this on your family and friends platform. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I'm your sister, co-host Cynthia J on the Cynthia J podcast show, holding us women accountable, but also making sure I'm giving you some updated news from our brothers and sisters all around across the world and what's going on. But before we end there, I got some more information for y'all. This right here, this might ruffle some feathers from y'all, but y'all not gonna like me after today. But that's okay. I still love you. This right here, I know some of you guys may not care about this, but I was so glad to hear this. But you're gonna be mad at your sister, cause see, I'm the child of divine. I go by the order of nature. I don't try to bash nobody, judge them. But however, when you are doing what you do, that's your prerogative. But when you try to make a law out of it, it gets too absorbed. Ghana has passed a law making it illegal. Are y'all listening? Making it illegal for anyone to come around with, it could be transgender, you can be gay, whatever it is, yada yada yada. Don't be pushing it, forcing it around. Ghana has passed a law. Ghana has passed a law on gays. I don't like to use that word, homosexuality. Let me retain that back. Forgive me for those who may be offended on homosexuality. Yes, they did. And some people are not afraid of it. And I'm going to tell y'all now, y'all better make sure y'all read those laws before you go across that water to visit Ghana. I do know that. I'm going to tell you that now. It's on the LGBTQ bill. It has been posted and it's been mentioned about 11 hours ago. So you guys who are up there, I'll read this article to you. Ghana Parliament passes a controversial new anti-LGBTQ bill. And in this bill, and this article is by ABC News in London, has posted, Ghana has passed this controversy bill following the months of a debate that could make it illegal, but it is now, as a citizen of the LGBTQ in the West African nation. So the bill, named the Human Sexual Right and Family Value Bill, was passed by the national legislation on Wednesday in an anonymous vote by the lawmakers. The law, which was sent to ABC News, states that it aims to provide proper human sexual rights and Ghanaians' family values. I do that because they do, in some places, uphold family values very strategic. Like, I got brothers and sisters who are from Ghana, and the ones I know, they hold family values very hard. It ain't no joke. So it's now awaits it's supposed to be signed by the president, Nana Addo. The bill is one of the harshest of its kind in Africa. If and when it gets signed, it could see people who identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, pansexual, non-binary, or queer, or any other sexual gender identified that is contrary to the binary category of males and females to be sentenced up to 3. Y'all see this? 3 years in prison. 3. Let me repeat that again. Anyone identifying as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, pansexual, non-binary, or queer, or any made-up name theirs whatsoever of sexual or gender identity that is contrary to any of the binary categories of a male or female are sentenced up to 3 years. So for those who try to go over there and sneak and bring that stuff, you better make sure you study your laws before you go over there or any other place. Those found guilty of the promotion, even those who want to say rights of, or we have our rights, anybody, promotion, sponsorship, or support of the LGBTQ plus activities also could also face prison sentence up to 5 years, guys, in prison. 5. It's not a game. They're not playing over there. Gay sexual acts already illegal in West Africa nation, and being convicted of the crime carries a prison sentence of 3. And that's in West Africa. The United Nations High Commissioner of the Human Rights, Volker, has condemned the passage of the bill, calling for it not to become a law. However, the broadened scope of the criminal sanction against those who are under the binary letters simply for being who they are said it responds to the purpose of the bill. He said he calls for the bill not to become a law. He urged the Ghanaian government to take steps to ensure everyone can live a free, violence, stigma, and discrimination life. However, they are looking at this in a different route. It's not about trying to discriminate you or anything like that. But however, some, and trust me, we all have people who are our family who are like that, those we are friends with, growing up like I was. And again, I'm not judging you. We all have our own sin to carry. However, it's just like any other thing. If it's not right and not in the natural order of the divine or nature itself or the universal law, you forcing stuff or you trying to make a law out of it, it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire on you trying to force these things. And now a lot of brothers and sisters who are, heterosexual are trying to stand firm because it's just too much going on now. You shouldn't have to feel like you're fighting or being in competition and so forth. And again, I have family members like that. I don't go on and do anything else. Some of them get mad at me because probably still call them by their name. I love you, but I'm gonna call you what the divine gave your mother to name you. Because remember, your spirit chose her. She she just prayed for you to come. But who am I to say? Again, we have to go with the divine order of nature, the divine universe, the divine night. That's why it's called feminine. Feminine is the womb, the divine divinity of all creation. And to be doing stuff that's out of order, for men and women doing things out of order, again, people say you can love who you love. Love is love when it's divinely pure. So that was one of the breaking news that had been passed yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and has been published today. And that blew my mind. And I saw so many people running around trying to fight for that. I was looking at a video on Facebook, and I thought it was a woman. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was a girl. So I'm like, oh, that girl getting down. I turned back around. I said, I'm confused. I saw a tuxedo because I know some girls be wanting to wear a tuxedo as the bridesmaid, the groomsmen, and it should be weird unless a guy has a friend who's a girl and she dressed in the groomsman outfit. I don't know how that works. People be making up their own things now. Then turn around, I said, hold up, that's a guy, look like a woman. And I'm looking at the brothers, and they had a Ghanaian event. It looks like, I don't think it was Nigerian. I could be wrong. And this person was dropping it, getting it in, and all kinds. And I knew this. I said, this person transient because the dance moves that they be doing. Some of my brothers that be doing that dance moves. And when they turned around, that's exactly what it was. And the Ghanaian brothers was like, they backed up, and I was like, oh Lord, okay. So with that being said, this article, you guys go on Google, you can Google it, you can go on ABC News, also find this article and so much more. Also, we got another breaking news. I know you guys heard about it in Texas, the young boy who was suspended from his school last year because of his locks. It's sad, and some people, and I've seen some brothers and sisters beg to differ on this, but if you beg to differ on this, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you, because now you are condoning. You know how hard it is as a Black American or African American individual, which has had its own identity from generation to generation to generation to generation, from century to century of creation time, have to have a rule when it comes to your hair that's nicely groomed. Nicely groomed. Nicely groomed. Why is this young gentleman hair, which has nothing to do with his education, should have an issue? Let's speak this again. Why should this young man be suspended from school and being in an alternative school since August 31st of last year, all because of his hair? But then you have those outside of the Black culture whose hair is longer than his, not tied up in a ponytail, long and whatever. And again, you try not to make this about race, because we don't like to use that. But we live in a society, a country of those of evilness who turned around and made it corrupted in this direction, which leaves people that have to fight. This young boy is 18 years old. Daryl is his name. Georgia has not been in school, in his regular school, since August 31st of last year. Do you know that the judge ruled that Texas high school legally suspend him? Well, hold up. How you gonna legally suspend somebody? First of all, he gets his locks done. Locks are sacred. They're not dreads. So let's get those who have been growing up hearing the word dread. Let me share something to you. We were incorrectly informed on that. The word dread comes from the colonizers. For those who do not know the history of locks, the names have changed over the years. They called it dread because the dread, the power within the hair of the descendants of Black and Africans, Americans, and those across the nations. Yes, they dread it because of the giftings behind it that it gives. I have locks. I have had jobs and places say, "Oh, you have to do something with your hair. We're not allowed." Okay, well, guess what? That's violating my human right. This is a part of my body. What does my hair have to do with what you got going on? It's neatly groomed and all that. It's an issue. I used to, working in the hotel industry, I used to see brothers had that same issue. Their hair will be nicely groomed, nicely groomed, nicely groomed. And locks were called sacred locks. Before that, it was called ethers. So for those who are unaware of what they really are, if you are not there spiritually, I advise you to teach those who lack knowledge. For the word said, my people perish by the lack of knowledge. We only get stuck one way. We live by it, we pass it down, and we don't never go to look further into the hidden histories that they don't want us to find out. Because if they knew we found out who we were, we would be most powerful. So with that being said, locks This young man is missing school, and the judge ruled, and the judge who ruled this in the district of in Texas, Judge Chat Kane III. But there is a act on protecting us called it's the legal act that's under the Crow and Crown Act. That is to protect those of a crown. Our sacred antennas, our ether, this crown that we carry, has a protection law, an act law against whatever else that tries to overshadow it. So if you're going to turn around and suspend this young boy who keeps his hair groomed, he keeps it in a style. He doesn't have it longer than a certain length, but he keeps it up in a style because he plays sports. So he makes sure that it's in a style so it doesn't get tagged up on maybe his helmet for football or whatever, he's in wrestling or whatever it may be. And you turn around, you still suspend them, and you allow young boys. And they took pictures of this last year, taking pictures of young boys. And my sister, the one with the long hair, with the cowboy hat, doctor, she be slamming that hammer. That's my sister. She be out here putting fire on the bottom of these criminals' feet. I love that about her. She put any politician who was a coon, an agent, in the hot seat. You go from the hot seat to the fiery furnace when you messing with her. So if y'all make sure y'all follow that sister, because she ain't playing. And I love it. We need to do that. We need to stand on them. We need to support each other against these type of things. Do not let that happen. And don't be the parent that allow your child, like the other young boy. It was in the what state was it in? It was in the northern state, and he was going for wrestling, and they would not allow him to wrestle until he cut his locks. And his team player was like, "Oh, cut it so we can win." We would have lost that championship that year. I would have just been sitting down. But the parents weren't there. Parents, if you have children with their sacred locks, make sure any sport they are in, any function they are in, that they are to call you. They are to not allow nobody to touch their hair. Nobody. None. I repeat to the parents, do not let nobody touch your kids' sacred antennas. Their sacred sunrise. Have them to call you. If they do not let them call you, tell your children, you don't stop. You stand strong. You don't move. I don't care how much they persuade you. I don't care how much they intimidate you to make you feel weak, to cut your hair or to do something to your hair. You do not allow them to do it. Your hair is your strength. So with that being said, to all the parents out there with children with locks, sacred locks, them sacred ethers, you don't let nobody touch their crown, even those with their afro, even those with their braids. You don't let nobody touch their natural crown. They better not. They better not. I tell my daughter all the time, don't let nobody touch your hair. I don't care if I don't care what they say. And she do it too. Look, she do it so much. Family members be wanting to touch her hair. She be like this, like she on the Matrix. My mama said nobody touch my hair. I said, that's how you be doing the baby. She said, yeah, I said, my mama said don't nobody touch my hair. I'm like, dad, girl, how many circles you gonna go in? But for that being said, please, guys, let's protect our children. Also, be mindful, keep my family lifted up in your high essential frequency prayers, because like even my child is going through some things. So those who got children who are out here going through bullying through peers or teachers, and I'm not saying all teachers are bad, but what I am saying, there are a lot that's going on out here now that's very hard. There are some children who were doing good, and then they started acting out because of being blamed for something they actually didn't do or misunderstood. And then after a while, they be like, the heck with it, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to stand up. You don't want to believe me. And then the next thing you know, that's why they're acting out. And then y'all pinpoint fingers at them and saying to them that, hey, you shouldn't have did this. Your child was doing this and blah, blah, blah. Well, what led my child to do that? What did you do about the situation? How did you handle it? Oh, I just told them not to worry about it. People are going to talk. But did you ever think that that's just a thing that bothers them? You just gonna have to keep encouraging and keep encouraging them. And I do that sometimes with my daughter. Sometimes I gotta be like, what did I tell you? Didn't I tell you that they're gonna do this just to make you weak? Didn't I tell you that you need to be mindful and watchful what they say to you and don't be so easily moved by what they say? Remind them that. You have to remind them that, because if not, they will continue to believe what they see. And you don't want that for them. You really don't. You don't want that from them, for them. So make sure you guys encourage your children. Same thing goes for me. Keep my child in prayer, all children in prayer who go through bullying at school by their peers, feel some kind of way by their teachers, parents. But some parents out there, keep the parents lifted up, because, children, they're easily manipulated more now than they ever have been before compared to when we were growing up. Social media, the peers, because I can tell you, going from a private to a public school with my daughter, and it was a battle of disagreement. Yet I know that it was for social skill reason. I tried, and I don't agree with everything, but hey, who am I to say? What are you doing, young lady? You want to come say hi? No, she had. She had. But anyway, with that being said, for any other breaking news, y'all make sure y'all hit up y'all sister Cynthia J on the podcast show. If y'all would like to send me some updated information to put out there, support, or to advertise for you, hit me up through my email under cynthiaj.gospel@gmail.com. cynthiaj.gospel@gmail.com. If you would love to send any information pertaining to advertisement, we can negotiate on that, or any breaking news that may not have been publicized. Don't be ashamed. Circulate it. Let us all support each other wherever we go, because you don't know who needs to know what's going around. Some people like to be kept in a microwave box, be bubbled in, don't want people to really know what's going on. And so, with that being said, make sure y'all come and share the love, for real, for real. Also, again, for those who did not know my birthday, today's the last day of February. So I gotta get my birthday thing on for the last day. Praise the ancestors for another long life. Keep me in prayer before this month of February end. For those who have February birthdays this month, shout out. Happy blessed solar. Happy new cycle. Happy blessed birthday. Happy new everything in your life. For those who don't know, tomorrow is March. March was technically, originally, and still is factually the original starting of a new year, going into the lunar year, for those who are unaware of that. So remember, the calendars didn't have February and these other months before. New year actually started in March, for those who may know and may not know. But happy new year again this coming. And for those who are going through the month of Lent, make sure you are spiritually fasting and praying and doing what you're supposed to do. Keep your spirit pure. As one of my lovely, respected elders say to me, one of my dear sisters, my aunties and mothers, she is everything to me. She always says, keep your heart pure, baby. Don't let nobody detour you. Remember, as I tell my daughter, look at your haters and tell your haters, you make me rise and shine. And so, with that being said, yes, I said that.
You're talking about me.
Yes, you might let my
This
love.
is my business.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, y'all hear in the background. Anyway, also April 4, 2024, I have a new single release coming out. April 4, 2024. The title of the release is I Put My Trust in You. Please keep an eye out on that. Your girl Cynthia J giving up a inspirational gospel song coming out to inspire, expressing what I've been through, what my family been through. This is just a way of encouraging you as it encouraging me, and I love what I do. I love the passion and the heart that I give to people. As I always tell the elders that I stop by and help take care of, I need you, you need me. And they always tell me, thank you. You are the best. You do things that they can't even get some family members to do. So don't be that family member. regardless if they pluck your nerves. Don't be that family member that just say, "Oh, I don't want to go over there and help them." And this is to the elderly. If they disabled, have accidents, I don't care if they getting dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever it be. It's a lot. It is. But go there and put that love in them, because even though their mind may go back a little bit, they won't forget the love you put in them. That's what makes them remember you. They will not forget the love that you birthed and remind them why they're here. And so, with that being said, make sure you put that passion out. And that's why I love what I do and to put the ministry out there. So, with that being said, make sure you check out my album on 4/4/2024. It's on a special day that I'm releasing it, and I'm releasing it on this special day, which is dear to me. Also, continue to keep me and my family in prayer. After my brother ascended last year in November. Remember, these hospitals, if you don't have insurance, and I hate to say it, it's not just happening to Black Americans anymore now. Anyone who's low income or mid income, they don't care. They see dollar signs. You have to have somebody to be a voice of reason and a voice of a fighter, a burden barrier for your family. So make sure y'all are out here doing what you're supposed to do and fight for them. Make sure you also have a will established, guys. Have somebody to be a beneficiary of this will. Don't just let them be a beneficiary of, your life insurance, but also put down what it is that you're requesting if anything was to happen to you or to you and your spouse, to make sure that someone is there that their heart is in a pure place. I can say the word good, but good doesn't mean a doggone thing. Backwards, if I take out and just said dog, it just be extra O's. So with that being said, with a pure heart. Last but not least, again, your sister. If y'all want to look me up, find all my information. Go in, for those who are on my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Go under my bio, click on my link under my link tree, which will still have CynthiaJ.gospel. And you can you can find all my music on social media and platforms. I mean, everything. You can find me. Just make sure if you look on YouTube, you type in Cynthia J, because there are plenty of Cynthia J's. So type in Cynthia J and make sure you put the title of the song. A lot of songs is up there. But if you go in my bio and you click on my link tree, you will see my YouTube. It may not seem like it's a lot. You probably was like, oh, she don't have a lot of followers. Let me share something with you. What looks less to man's eyes is many in the ascension of our ancestors. So that, and especially in glory. So with that being said, I love you guys. Make sure you go and you cop and listen to my other music. Join me every Thursday here, unless something else changes, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across the UK. It will be GM plus 1 time. So there's a few hours difference, will be 1 a.m. And if we live in California, California is 3 hours behind. So you know what time it is. It'd be like around 4. And you know what time that is. So with that being said, I love you guys. Thank you for always supporting me. Continue to be blessed in all that you do and share that love. So you make sure y'all do what y'all supposed to do. I love you guys on Instagram, Twitter, and everybody. Peace and love and blessings.
story is for your glory. My story is for your glory.